What's going on, Franco and Friends fam? Happy Friday. Hope everybody is doing super well. Hope you're having an amazing week so far. I hope you're looking forward to the weekend because I know I am. But with that being said, I'm not going to waste any of your time. I'm going to jump right into the video because I'm going to bang this out real quick, 5 minutes or less, I promise you, okay? I know I always say that, but I'm going to do it, okay? So today what I want to talk about is something that I think is super important, and one of those things that can kind of just slip through the cracks. And if we let it slip through the cracks, it can complicate things dramatically, okay? And if we don't catch this and we don't get this in control, it can really hinder the progress that our kids make, okay? And the reason that I'm talking about this and the reason that I know this is because this is something that we really struggled with last year with Franco, okay? And what I'm talking about is being on the same page, having everybody on the same page, not just in your family, but being on the same page as school and then being on the same page as other services, right? Because a lot of our kids get outside services, right? Like Franco does, or did actually, because we're not really doing that now, but that's another story for another day. But so let me kind of break it down what we were going through last year. So last year, Franco would go to like a typical school during the day, and then after school, he would go to a specialized program where he would have a social group, speech therapy, and occupational therapy, okay? And what was happening was, since we did not have a great line of communication with school, we didn't know the way that they were doing things at school, right? Like they would kind of tell us, but we didn't have a really open line of communication where they told us which social stories they were using, how they were disciplining, what was the wording that they were using, what were the systems in place that they were using. We didn't know. And if we don't know, then obviously we can't follow through with that at home, right? So that's going to be kind of confusing to him if he's getting things done one way at school and then another way at home, right? And then to further complicate things, he would go to his program, his afternoon program, and they were using a completely different way, right? Because if they weren't on board with school and they didn't know what school was doing, how could they follow through with it as well, right? They can't. They can't. So all three different areas. At home, he's getting one thing done, one way he's being taught, one way, different social stories here. Then he goes to school, completely different set of resources, set of social stories, set of wording, disciplinary things, everything is different. Then he's going to his afternoon program and they're doing everything completely different. Can you imagine how confusing that would be to a child? It would be very confusing. Now, let me also say that I'm not saying that we have to be so structured that we all use the exact same words every second. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying we all kind of need to, I mean, social stories, yes, we should all be on board and use very similar, if not the exact same social stories, as well as, you know, the ways that we discipline the child, right? We all have to be on board. We all have to be on board. We just have to, or else things are not going to work. And you're going to see that they're not going to progress as, you know, as fast as they should. And that's the goal, right? We want to see our kids thrive. We want them to make progress, right? That's the goal. We want them to live the highest quality of life possible for them, okay? So the best way to do this is, right, so the first step is you have to figure out who has the best system. Who has the best system, right? And for us, it was actually the afternoon program that he was in because it was a more of a specialized program, so they had better systems. So what we had to do was we had to, first of all, get everybody in touch and get everybody on board, okay? And the reason that I say that his afternoon program was much better at this is because we ran into some pretty big issues. And again, that's a story for another day, but the way that the school was teaching him and the social stories that they were using were just flat out wrong, you know, flat out wrong. But again, I said I'm going to bang this out in 5 minutes, so I'm going to leave that for another day, okay? But so his afternoon program was actually the best. They had the best systems in place, the best social stories, and just, you know, the best structure. They had the structure. So what we did was we had to sign a release form, but we had everybody in touch. Everybody was in contact. Everybody communicated almost daily, right? So that everybody was on the same page. We were all using the same social stories. We were all using the same wording. We were all using the same, you know, the same systems. And I'll tell you, once we did this and we were able to get this in place and we were all on board communicating every day, we saw like tremendous improvements. Tremendous, right? In so many different areas. Because can you imagine how aggravating that would be if he's being taught one way at school, another way at his therapy, and then at home we're doing a completely different thing because nobody knows what anybody else is doing. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. So, that's pretty much it, guys. I don't want this to go too long. I know I always say, I'm like, I'm going to jump on real quick, and I am going 10, 15 minutes. And I'm not going to do that. I just cut right to the point today, and, that's it. I'm going to try to hop in, do these quick videos for you guys. And, I would highly recommend that, if you're in a similar situation, maybe your child gets outside services, I'm assuming they're in school, the best thing to do is just to get everybody on board, have everybody working together, working like a well-oiled machine, and you'll just see so much progress. And yeah, it's just so important, guys. So that's really it for today, guys. I love you. I appreciate every one of you so, so much. I'm wishing you the best day ever. Happy Friday. I love you guys. And like always, you got this. You got this.